Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, TransferTradeSolutions.com on a Tuesday, third day of March. Obviously, everybody knows what's happening with Iran, the ongoing war there. And, since we were last together on Friday, oil has spiked. All of the obvious situation, with oil and so forth. Market. Let's get into the S&P again. I'm gonna have a class coming up here, which it pertains to the increased volatility that we're seeing and options market, how you can take advantage of that. So make sure you sign up for that. That's coming up a week from Wednesday. Also, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into the charts. Uh, in light of what's happening, clearly in the crosshairs, obviously is oil futures spiking. Uh, and Interestingly, we had oil, this is the oil futures contract, come right up to the highs we saw back in June of last year, June 13th to be specific, when Israel first hit the Iranian facilities, if you recall. So it looks like that is acting as a near-term resistance right around 78 a barrel. Since then, it's coming off. We had an announcement just a few minutes ago, in fact, that Trump is going to send some naval ships through the Strait of Hormuz to guard to help assist some of the vessels there because Iranians have tried to close that off. Obviously, that's what caused the spike in oil. Um, and more or less, this is going to be the barometer here. I think if oil comes off, markets can rally. If oil continues to spike, maybe goes to 80, that the market's still going to be in the person. There's still a lot of uncertainty. Also, of of importance here with regards to the markets and trading is unlike, again, the June uh, strikes, Israeli strikes, and actually I think we were part of that as well. Um, the difference now is this is spreading. It's going to be more than a few days. Uh, they're talking about 4 to 6 weeks. The other wild card is if it prolongs, if it's more protracted, that is, obviously that brings forth a lot more uncertainty and therefore, lots of more volatility in the market. So, for the moment, it looks like 78 is the ceiling in oil. We probably want to fill this gap down here at 67. Um, Oil shares, interesting today, are all down. A lot of them are down, gave back a lot of the gains, ExxonMobil and so forth. So we'll see if that continues to track. Um, you know, with regard to nat gas, that's not really moving. In fact, I would say, nat gas in Europe is moving, but not in the U.S. because again, we have ample nat gas here in the country. There's a ton of supply, so there's not much happening with nat gas that we need to talk about. Um, Now, with respect to the S&P, we continue to have these big swings. The pattern has been, they take it down overnight. We had that Sunday, they take it down overnight. They rally, it came right to supply, fell all the way back down to this demand zone here, is rallying again, it's stalling out middle. Again, the question remains is, are we going to roll over again and try to touch these lower boundaries? By the way, we just hit this low back in the mid-November, which, incidentally happened to be a VIX 28 here and here. We just hit VIX 28 with higher prices. So doesn't look like there's still any panic. We may need to have that in order for the market to really bounce hard rather than just have these kind of continuous back and forth type of movements. Technically, we still haven't broken down. Uh, you know, Keep in mind, we still more or less are in a trading range until we break some of these decisive levels, that which would be somewhere in the neighborhood of, I would say, all the way down below 6,500. I would still call this a trading range. more or less. You can see even here, the NASDAQ still hasn't even touched these recent lows in February. So maybe the mega cap's going to lead us out of this. We'll see what happens there. Rates have been rising because of inflationary fears. Um, and this is a little bit of a change here because typically you have bonds rallying as a safe haven. That's not happening. Looks like rates may be headed, if oil prices continue to stay high, probably you get a 430 handle on interest rates as well. The dollar is also surging as a result of what's happening. We are pulling back away from 99.50, and obviously still very volatile. Uh, and interesting again, initially, you would expect gold to rally, and it did, but now it's giving all the gains back. We are trying to bounce off of this demand zone here. So we did bounce pretty good off the demand zone at 50. Uh, we're up almost $100 off that demand zone. Question is again, is this going to roll over? The fact that it's not rallying in the midst of what's happening tells me that we may be topping out in gold finally. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Similar with silver. In fact, I thought maybe we should. I was talking to my group about shorting silver at 100. We never got there. We came close, but we never got there. And now the question becomes, is this going to bounce all the way back, or is this going to roll over and then maybe touch the lows? This will be worth watching as well. So that is where we're at today. Obviously, very fluid situation, very news driven. Most stocks are down. We do have a uh, lots of red on the screen today, which actually could be a good thing because typically when you're seeing these big swings, you've had more or less people rotating between sectors. Today looks like they're actually getting out of the market, which may be uh, this kind of capitulatory type of environment that we need in order to have a durable bounce. Still too early to draw any conclusions. I still think that the markets are going to be volatile, which could present some tremendous opportunities for those that are patient, for those that understand how trading works. But in any event, no question, we're going to have an interesting several weeks. In fact, as long as this conflict continues, there's all kinds of factors that can drive the market. So, but the bottom line is stick to your discipline, stick to your process, and don't chase any moves because, as you know, chasing moves just never pans out. That's either to the upside or the downside. Okay. All right. Have a great rest of your week.